I believe 2024 will be a year full of contrasts. This is my pessimistic set of predictions. I believe the market environment will remain tough for fundraising. I think many health tech founders will have to continue to make tough choices, stretch their runways, and strike innovative partnerships to deliver enough scientific validation and evidence with limited resources. I also believe providers will continue to face P&L pressures, be faced with staff shortages, burnout, and ultimately, it will become very difficult to push through innovations which are not mission critical to right here, right now. I also believe the speed of reimbursement and distribution will remain a challenge even for the best decision support tools. On the other hand, these are my optimistic set of predictions. I believe we'll see a fresh wave of enthusiasm and government focus around digital and data infrastructure in healthcare. I also believe we'll see a whole set of new ecosystem partnerships being announced. I believe AI will remain center stage in R&D in biotech and in pharma, and I think we'll see many exciting partnerships also come from Europe this year. I also think we'll see many clinician and scientist turned founder profiles setting up their own new businesses, building tools that they wish they had. Lastly, I believe we'll see a lot more M&A activity in the healthcare sector this year. And I think the founders with a prior M&A experience who are proactively driving consolidation could build a lasting advantage this year.
We are still very bullish on the European deep tech ecosystem. There are a couple of reasons. Firstly, each year, the deep tech ecosystem is getting stronger in Europe and also becoming more competitive, to a global scale. And we can see we are trying to catch up the potential, set out by all those world-class academic institutions. And also, interestingly, is if you look at the European founders, they have become more ambitious, particularly in the deep tech sectors. And in 2024, we see particular 4 different potential trends. So the first one, lithium-ion battery technology, we feel they are getting more and more mature. So we think this technology is going to be really dominant among the different kind of like battery technology, and they are going to be a key player to drive the long-term, sustainable clean energy in the future. And secondly is we think the rate of change in the AI market is going to be continue to accelerate. All those new capability brought by those new frontier AI models will be productionized by many different verticalized applications. In addition, we think AI safety, trust, and governance are actually going to be more important. However, we still think they will be remain under investment at the moment. And then thirdly, we think robotics. We anticipate robotics will still gaining a lot of momentum due to the introduction of the new AI capability to basically advance the control systems. And lastly, and most interesting, I think is the space tech is really booming. It's mainly due to the mature and cheap infrastructure. And particularly in Europe, we can see there is a strong entrepreneurial push from those existing academic institutions or the incumbent try to basically educate and incubate more interesting deep tech, startups.
I think climate can and will be one of the future growth areas for the European tech sector. Why? Because I think this transition to a zero carbon economy opens up massive opportunities and will change entire industries. And this will create the opportunity to really build big businesses of the future. This is not a hype. And this is not something that goes away fast. I think if you look at the penetration of renewable energy, if you look at the rollout of electric vehicles, if you look at the underlying trends that the climate tech sector is building upon, then we see massive momentum. And that's why I think more and more investors will realize, oh, this is actually something that we should look at. This is actually something where we also should invest in. And that's why I believe that there will still be more investors investing in climate tech. On the other hand, a lot of investments require hardware, right? I think there's no lie about that. If you want to invest in climate tech, there are business models that are very capex heavy. There are business models where you need to touch physical goods, right? You cannot remove carbon out of the atmosphere without touching physical goods. I think it will be two things. One hand, more capital in the market. On the other hand, I think a lot of people going through that learning curve and what it actually means to invest in climate tech, because it is different from just investing in software businesses.
Companies that solve a problem for a majority of people, right? We've invested into companies that digitize care homes, that digitize compliance processes, that digitize the supply chain. And I'd say the second big trend that we saw are those like real world applications that help digitize entire industries and make them more cost effective and more future proof, be it again in compliance, in procurement, in supply chain, traditional blue collar industries. And that's actually one area that might not be as obvious, but that I feel very passionate about personally. I think those building blocks of modern companies are more needed than ever before. There's still a lot of work to do. There's a lot of like very manual, old-fashioned processes that are not yet digitized or that are stuck with like 30-year-old incumbents. So I think we will see a lot of innovation in that space that will be partly, but not only, powered by artificial intelligence. I think that's a trend that is here to stay. I think every company is going to be an AI company. Every company will leverage AI to some extent.
As a team focused on marketplaces, we look for network effects in almost everything that we invest into. And that will also continue to be the case in 2024. And we believe that this is a long-term trend that is here to stay and won't go away. So network effects continue to be at the core of what we are doing and what we are investing in. However, there are, of course, a few trends that we are following. Marketplace enabling technology, basically allowing marketplaces to deliver a better customer experience to both companies but also consumers through AI and specifically generative AI. Within AI specifically, here are a few areas that we are particularly excited about: personalized shopping, advanced search and discovery, dynamic pricing optimization, supply chain management, and visual search and AR integration. These are all areas that we believe are ripe for disruption through AI. Another trend that we are closely following in 2024 is Gen Z as a new consumer. So the Gen Z generation entering into the consumer base and basically coming in with fundamentally different shopping habits, higher environmentally consciousness, and related topics. So we believe that this will also create a major shift in the consumer base and create new opportunities to build exciting marketplace companies. And then two other, I would say, kind of all-time favorites that we also continue to focus on and are excited about in 2024. On one side, B2B marketplaces. So basically seeing a wave of digitization in old-fashioned industries that are being digitized through marketplace approaches. And basically what happened in B2C and C2C also happening in B2B. And similarly, but more from a geographical point of view, another trend that we continue to follow is emerging markets. So marketplace approaches that have been already proven and tested in the developed markets are now also being introduced in emerging markets that until now maybe have been lagging behind a little bit due to missing infrastructure, but are now also ripe for disruption through a marketplace approach.
In terms of the trends which we see in the market, first of all, emerging markets remain to be a very big trend. A lot of things which happened in developed markets already, a lot of these innovations are just coming up in the rest of the world, in LATAM, Africa, MENA, and we're actively investing there. In more developed markets, there is a huge trend on wealth management and wealth tech, because we will be the generation which will witness generational wealth transfer. Apart from this, climate is on agenda of everyone, and we do believe that financial institutions and financial technologies can be another driver to make the climate change in the world, and especially financial institutions' part in it is a big trend. We believe that vertical fintech is on the rise. We have passed the era of one fits all, and specific verticals like construction, procurement, logistics, and financial solutions tailored for these industries make much more sense from the revenue potential, product potential, but also in the customer acquisition cost. And last but not least, blockchain and crypto infrastructure. Despite there is a clear crypto winter right now, we believe that fundamentally the new tech can bring lots of efficiency into the capital markets, into the payments rails, and many other fundamental industries in the core of how finance works today.